I've actually had a dream my whole life that I would be able to help new moms who just had babies feel like they could be in the driver's seat of their life. It's just been a dream. I always envision myself going to hospitals, maybe doing talks there, and giving the moms what they need to be able to go home feeling confident. How do I start this out? Because in the beginning, it feels like I just had a baby, yay, I'm so excited, and we're all so excited, and everyone's celebrating, and there's all these festivities around it, and rightfully so. And together with that, I actually end up going home, and I don't really know what to do. It's like I'm a bit lost. I'm not sure. What comes first? What comes next? What's important? What's not? When is too much? When is not enough? Like, what is it that I need to know as a parent to keep me in the driver's seat? What is it that I need to know and what I need to do in order to create that flow that I would like to have at home? Because people talk about maternity leave, and honestly, I really, really dislike that name. Maternity leave is not a time for play and a time for meeting friends for coffee and doing all these fun things. We know what this is like. We come home, we just had a baby. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to heal. We need the time. And we also need the instruction. How do I take care of my child? What is it that I need to do in order to be able to take care of him so that he's content? Because we just want to be able to get through this period with ease and without trouble. So in this video, I'm going to give you the 2 anchors that for me as a young mom were life-changing. And actually, I owe this video to my dear friend Olga, who 24 years ago now gave me a book. I was pregnant with my daughter. She, as a dear friend, gave me a book that changed my life. It actually changed my life, and maybe it changed the trajectory of what I'm actually doing today. Because thanks to her, I have found my place as a sleep consultant, being able to help families navigate through the chaos, finding their calm without so much difficulty. So those 2 anchors that I pulled from her book are the 2 anchors I'm going to share with you today. And my hope for you is that it helps you as much as it helped me. When I came home with my oldest, Noah, I remember that I didn't really know what to expect, how to take care of her, although I kind of had an idea, but I definitely didn't know how to take care of me. And maybe before we get into how to take care of the baby, let's talk about how to take care of you, because that's completely overlooked. It's like, woohoo, you had a baby, and let's have dinners, and let's come visit, and let's bring company, and let's maybe meet out, because you're home now, you're on maternity leave, you have plenty of free time. That's kind of the message I got. And I didn't know any better. And so I got sucked into that. I got sucked into late night dinners and family parties and going out and doing all kinds of stuff with my newborn when I hadn't even healed yet. I was still in a very fragile state, both emotionally and physically. And nobody knew to tell me that I needed to take care of myself. So my focus was on my baby. And I have to say, I did a pretty good job. I knew what I needed to do. I told you, I guess I had a book. I had the framework that I wanted. It worked well for me. My daughter very nicely fit into that. And I felt like, okay, it's working. But I wasn't really working in the sense that I think I had postpartum bleeding for like 7 or 8 weeks. I was vacuuming my house day in and day out because we had company and we had family and we had stuff going on. And I was, instead of resting, laying in bed, I was sitting outside with barbecues. And it just wasn't clear to me that I needed to be the point of focus first, and then my baby, and everything else would have to come later. Nobody said that to me. Everybody kind of was like, all right, you had the baby, now it's over. Let's go, let's have life. And I'm here to tell you that you deserve to put yourself first. You deserve all the gentle care you're going to be giving your baby. You deserve it first. And what I'm going to explain to you now around what I call easy cycles, or actually what the baby whisperer calls the easy cycles, is also for you. So when we're talking about feeding your child, I'm going to say, how about feeding yourself? Are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding yourself? Are you actually sitting down when you eat? Are you preparing yourself nutritious meals? Your body needs to heal. You deserve the nutrition. You deserve the slower pace. So take care of yourself. And then think to yourself, am I hydrating myself? Am I drinking plenty of water? Is somebody taking care of those needs for me? Is there somebody next to me who's my support system who knows that these are my needs? And then when you think about that, you also think about sleep. And you do need to sleep. I understand your newborn's probably not sleeping much, but you need to sleep. So somebody on your support team needs to be able to allow that to happen so that you can heal. And then movement. This is the one that I totally overlooked. It was the movement. And actually when I'm saying it, I think about my third child, my son. Even with him, I didn't recognize the need for rest. It really took me a long time to learn all this. I didn't have my mom telling me, this is what needs to happen. Let me take care of you. Let me do for you. I didn't have that. So I kind of just did stuff because I'm capable. So I'll do it. But that's not what the body needs after you have a baby. So, you don't want to be moving too much. You do need to move, but you shouldn't be exercising. You shouldn't be doing what I did. I was vacuuming, and vacuuming 20 years ago was with a big, heavy vacuum cleaner. And so pushing that big, heavy vacuum cleaner was like lifting heavy weights, which kept my bleeding going on for a very long time. You want to pay attention to how you take care of yourself. And believe you me, I remember at one point someone said to me, Dorit, nobody's going to remember that you had a baby in 5 months. This is the time to take care of yourself. And although that was good advice, it came late. It came after my third son, but I can give it to you now. And I can say to you, please look at yourself. Take care of yourself, because you are the ultimate caregiver for your baby and for your home. And when there is a you, there will be a nice home. And when there is a you, there will be everything else. But if there is no you, then everything will fall apart. And lastly, when you think about your support team, you want to probably try and see who is right to be on that team. Not everyone is going to be a good fit for this. Some people in your family can be the most dearest people to you, or your bestest friends, or the people who mean really, really well don't understand what it is that you need. So I invite you to choose your support team with care and with intention. It needs to be someone who can help you and has your best interest in mind. So someone who can look out for you, someone who can prepare for you, someone who can take over to let you sleep a little bit. And that support team is not going to need to be there forever and always, but it's necessary and important that at the beginning phases of coming home, that you have who you can lean on so that you're not feeling overwhelmed, because it will be overwhelming if you don't have help. When we're thinking about easy cycles comes from Tracy Hogg, the baby whisperer. And EASY stands for, it's an acronym, it stands for eat, activity, sleep, you. Now, these easy cycles go in cycles. And these cycles, when they repeat themselves, make things very predictable. They make things predictable for you. Yay! We want predictability. It's going to make all the difference in how you feel all day long. And it makes all the difference for your baby. Because your baby's circadian rhythm, that day-night clock that we talk about all the time, is not in place when a child is born. So days and nights are a bit enmeshed, and it could be that your baby's sleeping well during the day, but at nighttime you have these longer wake-ups, and that's okay. Probably for the first month, that's very normal. But then you can step in and you can kind of bump things along. You can help make things more in sync with our earth, with our order, with our rhythm. So when we use easy cycles during the day, this encourages the body's circadian rhythm to fall into place. And when the body's circadian rhythm is in place, then we can count on nights being longer, being better sleep, being deeper sleep. And we can count on days with set naps and breaks during the day so that everybody can refuel to be their best selves. When we're thinking about easy cycles, the first letter is E, and that's eat. So how do we want to feed our child? Now, it's normal that in the beginning, we want to feed on demand because we want to encourage our milk supply. We want our child to be eating well. They're very sleepy at first, so they kind of fall asleep while they're nursing. And there's not really much to do about that because you can't forcefully wake a sleeping child. But after about the first month or 6 weeks, you definitely can jump on the easy cycles to make things easier for you. No pun intended. So when we're talking about these feeds, we're looking at 3-hour cycles from the beginning of the first feed to the beginning of the next. And these cycles, because we cannot be rigid, because we are humans and not robots, we say plus minus half an hour. So let's say that our child eats at 8 o'clock in the morning. The next feed would be as early as 10:30, could be at 11, and as late as 11:30. Does that make sense? Plus minus half an hour on that 3-hour cycle. When you know to feed your child in this rhythm, you will help set up kind of a rest and digest rhythm within the body that will encourage a healthy circadian rhythm. So that's the first point. Then we want to move on to the A, which is activity. And when we think of activity, I mean, right away I'm thinking about you, but let's talk about baby first. When we think about activity, this is going to be a little bit of activity because they're very little, and so they don't have the stamina to be up for a long period of time. And even if they are up for a long period of time, that's too much, it's overwhelm for the body, and then it's going to make it massively difficult for them to fall asleep. with all of those stress hormones kind of running through the body. So you want to be aware of the average activity time that you're going to have for your child. So activity is generally for a child that age about an hour, plus minus half an hour. Well, that might seem like, oh my God, that's like no time. I have no time to do anything. That's right, because you're not supposed to be doing anything at this stage. You're supposed to be resting. So this is good, low key. In the beginning, you want low key. Probably the first 3 months, you want to make sure that you take care of yourself, that you establish a rhythm, that things are in flow, so that then you're back on your feet and you can continue life. 3, 4, 5 months, then you're back on your feet. So when we're thinking about activity, a little bit of activity for your baby. That means being on the mat, maybe a little bit of tummy time, a little bit of time on their back, and then maybe some time in a bouncy chair, and then it's time for sleep. So activity is only an hour, plus minus half an hour, based on your child. If your child seems tired before, you cut it by a little bit. If they seem fine and can handle comfortably that wake period, you might add a little bit of wake time. But that's more or less your range, and you can use that to figure out what's right for your family. Think about yourself around activity. For those of us who are like, superwoman, and we can clean the house and we can do it all and we can thrive without sleep, we're not doing that anymore. Life has shifted. You are now taking care of someone. You now need to make sure that you are your best self so that you can properly take care of this little person. So you need to take care of how much activity you are doing in this time after birth. Probably less is more. If you're part of your support team, might be somebody who comes to help you clean up. Part of that support team might be somebody who's coming around to move things around or pick things up or set up the nursery or whatever needs to happen. It should not be you. It's too much. So think about yourself, check in with yourself, see how much is enough for you, and then outsource all the rest. And with your child, we said the activity part is more or less an hour plus minus half an hour. The next phase of easy cycles is sleep. Yay, sleep is the best. So we want to make sure that we're putting our child down to sleep so that they can sleep enough in order to then wake up and continue the day. And at this stage, your baby's very sleepy. So it makes sense that they're going to be sleeping around the clock. So you're not looking for these long chunks of wake time. And just to give you kind of like a really far anchor, your child at the age of a year can be up for about 3 to 4 hours. So just for reference, what we're looking at, okay? Let's get back to now. Now we're looking at putting our child down when they start to feel tired so that we can have what's called perfect timing. Because perfect timing produces no crying. So if you catch your child before they're overtired, red eyebrows, glossy eyes, kicking their feet, scratching their ears, fidgety, yawning, rubbing their face, all of those are signs of being tired. Some kids don't have those signs. Some kids actually just go from being tired to going hyper alert. And so then they get wide-eyed and they seem completely awake, even more awake than they were during their regular wake period. That can also be a sign that it's too long. So it's the clock plus your child that indicates to you when it's time. It's not just the clock, because that doesn't work. And it's not just your child, because that might be deceiving. We just said that some kids don't show when they're tired. It's the two together, plus what I understand helps me move forward to take best care. So we said the sleep part of the cycle needs to, it actually kind of ends that cycle, right? So we said we're on like a 2.5, 3 hour cycle. If the first hour and a half is wake time and eating, the second half of that is sleep time. So simple to remember, just simple. I'm not saying it's easy, although it's called an easy cycle. I'm just saying it's simple to remember. So we said all we need is 2 anchors. We need to know when my child needs to eat and when my child needs to sleep. And those 2 alone allow for time for you. And then what are you gonna do when you have time? What is it that we're gonna do? It's like, I have some time now. And I have that time throughout the day because these are cycles. So all throughout the day, there's time for me. It's not like I'm waiting for the end of the day for there to be time for me. It's time throughout the day for me. And you might decide you're gonna take a rest. You might decide you're gonna eat a nutritious meal. Maybe you're gonna take a shower. Maybe you're gonna listen to a podcast. Maybe you're gonna read a book. Maybe you're gonna talk to a friend. Whatever it is that's gonna fuel you, because you know now that as a parent, you need to have your reserves full in order to be able to give. This is a 24/7 giving. So how can you refuel yourself? That needs to be on a constant. So I hope that in this video you understand that when we can use those 2 anchors, we all of a sudden have clarity, first around what needs to be, what are my child's needs and how can I meet those needs? But on top of that, what are my needs and how can I meet my needs? And when I can take care of those basics, we're just talking basics here. I can take care of my nutrition needs, I can take care of my sleep needs, and I can take care of my wake needs and movement needs. together with my child's needs, all of a sudden there's flow. And when we have flow, that feels nice. And when it feels nice, our nervous system is calm. And when our nervous system is calm, we can calm down the person next to us. So even if our child's crying, we're calm, we know what to do, we've got this. And that alone, it's like an anchor for your child's nervous system. It helps them co-regulate. So small information in this video, 2 little pointers that can make so much difference. I remember that this was my saving grace when I had my little one. It literally helped me navigate days on a constant. Didn't matter if I was home or if I was out because we had to go get vaccinations or we had to go wherever. I knew what had to happen. And that kept me feeling like I could be in the lead. And that was most important for the dynamic of our family. So I'm going to leave you with that for this video. I'm curious to hear how this influences you and your maternity leave. I would love to hear your comments below. Feel free to drop me a comment, and I will see you in the next video.